Welcome to Gleaning and Gathering. I'm your host, Eric Heimlich, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about leadership. You know, leadership is a really broad topic, but I was listening this past week to a podcast by Carey Nieuwhof and Jim Collins, and his latest book, How the Mighty Have Fallen. He was talking in that book about a question that he's investigating now. And the question is, what do you want to be responsible for which you get no credit? In other words, what's something that you're willing to make sure happens and that you believe is important that it happens, even if no one else knows that you're doing anything about it, and that it wouldn't happen if you weren't there? What are you going to take responsibility for which you get no credit? You know, I think that goes to the heart of servant leadership. A lot of people are willing to take credit for something that they didn't do, but a truly humble leader is willing to take responsibility for something, even if they're not going to get the credit for it. And I think that really separates true leaders, servant leaders, from those who are just in it for the money. One of the things that we've been praying for here at Victory Acres and looking for is a David. You know, we really need someone here who can see the opportunity that's here and in an entrepreneurial kind of way be willing to take on the challenges that it's going to take to build and to grow something. And in the middle of doing that, to do that without necessarily receiving a great deal of pay. Now, I know that's probably not a job that a lot of people are just going to be signing up for. But what we need here is not just someone who's saying, how much am I going to get paid and how little can I do? But someone who's willing to come in and just serve and see the opportunity that's here, but be willing to do what we're doing without receiving a huge paycheck. I saw someone post not long ago, and I can't remember who it was, so I can't give them credit. The post was, if you took away all pay from preaching, you would find out who's really called. I know this is Pastor Appreciation Month, and there are a lot of people that are celebrating that right now, and certainly appreciate pastors. But I do think that there is an occupational hazard for ministers. And I think one of them is this idea that I do what I do for God to receive a paycheck. One question that I like to ask ministers is, if it all went away tomorrow, what would be left of your faith? If you weren't a traditional pastor where that was your job, would you still do what you do? And would you still believe what you believe? Because I think that real servant leaders as pastors are willing to pastor even if they don't have the title. They're willing to pastor even if they don't have the paycheck. They're willing to serve the community that they're a part of and to be someone who shows up for the people that are part of their congregation, part of their community. And to do that in a way that is not necessarily dependent on whether or not they get paid to do it. Now, I'm certainly not against paid pastors. I think it's biblical. I think it's something that is a blessing. And when we have pastors who truly give themselves to prayer and the ministry of the word, and they have the time to do that because they have a group of people surrounding them that make that possible, I think it's a beautiful thing. But I do think that one of those occupational hazards of ministry is that everything sacred suddenly becomes something that we just do because this is our job. Do I really love Jesus? Am I in love with him? And I'm not just reading my Bible and praying every day so that I have sermon material, but I'm doing it because I want to draw closer to him. I want to be his child. I think it's a danger. And I've seen the danger in my own life. There have been seasons when it's difficult to really get into God's Word and really see the truth that's there in a way that doesn't just automatically transfer into me saying, oh yes, now I've got what I can share for next Sunday or next Bible study. I think there's a danger there when our souls are not being fed, when we're not daily making it our practice to make ourselves happy in the Lord. And then when there are difficulties, which are inevitable in churches, and relational difficulties and church politics, and everything begins to happen, our faith is shaken because all of that is connected to this sense of identity that we have. I am a pastor. It's the wrong way to look at it. I serve as a pastor, but I am a child of God. That's who I am. And so our role may change, but our identity needs to be rooted in something deeper than just, this is what I do. It's just something I've been chewing on and thinking about. It was a couple of weeks ago that I finished the Full Focus program certification, and I am now a Full Focus Certified Pro, which is a set of tools that is going to help me as a coach be able to help those that I serve to win at work and succeed at life. It's tools to help people reach their goals and to be able to manage their time in a way that will help them to do the things professionally that will help get them where they want to go, but also do that without compromising the life that they truly want to live. And so I'm excited about being able to share those tools. And I have a free workshop that's coming up October 15, October 22nd, and October 29. We'll be sharing some material. And so if you're interested in that, feel free to reach out to me. It's free, and I'm happy to share it with you. Happy to share it with all the folks that are going to be joining. It will be online, so there's a Zoom link for that. And so we'll be sharing that and look forward to having the opportunity to help others grow in their journey. This is a journey that I've been on since 2017. I think I was one of the first users of the Full Focus Planner when it first came out, but also just the framework that goes around it. Have learned a ton about how to use it by doing it over the years, and also now taking this course and completing it, have learned a lot more about how to teach it. And so I'm excited to do that, excited about the people that are going to be part of that and the transformation that I know it's going to make in their lives. I know what it did for me, and just being able to have a system is so important. You know, a lot of us have goals, but goals are not enough because if you don't have a system in place, as James Clear so aptly points out in Atomic Habits, we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. And that's the breakdown. A lot of people set goals. A lot of people say, this is what I'm going to achieve, but they don't actually put rungs on the ladder. You have to have a system if you are going to make it to the finish line, whatever that finish line is. You have to have a system in place. How are you going to get there? What kind of habits are you going to build? And how are you going to build those habits so that you can get where it is you want to go? And so that's the work that I am excited about helping people do, being able to break down those larger goals into smaller bite-sized pieces and to be able to set daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, and be able to then move towards those things. And I know anybody can do this on their own, but I do know from experience that a coach can be incredibly helpful in moving towards a goal. when you have a supportive community and you have somebody who's coming alongside you with tools and with systems and with accountability, someone who can help challenge you. It's a little bit like learning to play the piano or learning to play an instrument. Anybody could YouTube it. You could go out there and find books, and you could find YouTube videos and learn how to play that instrument. But there's something about having someone who's challenging you to do that and asking you each week, hey, have you practiced? That makes that difference. And so most people who learn how to play an instrument have a teacher. And most people that really learn to play a sport at any level have a coach. You have someone who's helping you, who's doing the work of working alongside you to be able to move you forward in that. And so that's something that I'm excited about doing for others, and being able to share those tools with people is something that I'm super excited about. So if you're interested, I'm going to put a link in the show notes, and feel free to check that out if it's something that would be helpful to you. I'm excited about what God's doing and excited about where we're going. I am very thankful for the opportunity that our family has to be where we are. It was a year ago this week that I sat in front of EFM's board and made my case for the next steps of what I wanted to do here at Victory Acres, and to see that connected to evangelistic faith missions. And I lost that vote. As a result, our time at EFM came to an end. And as I look back over this past year, God has been incredibly gracious to us. And it has been a wonderful experience to see how God has provided in this next season of our lives, in this next leg of our journey. It has been challenging, but it has been incredibly fulfilling. And so the opportunity to be able to serve at Heartland Christian School and to add value there as both the director of development and also as the integrator here as of this school year in the new EOS system that we're implementing there. It's been great, and I am thankful for the opportunity to be part of that. I'm also thankful for how God's helped us here at Victory Acres as we're continuing to move forward here. And then with the coaching business, continuing to try to add value to people's lives, to help leaders that are stuck get unstuck, and to be able to move forward and to achieve the things that God has gifted them to do. I'm super excited about all of it. And I'm thankful for what God is doing in me as He's also working through me. I think the danger, and you've heard me say this before if you listen to this podcast, I think the danger is to have everything in the showroom window and nothing in the stockroom. And I think that as leaders, we have to live with that constant everyday challenge of leading ourselves well, getting up and doing the things, having the life-giving rhythms in our lives that will keep the stockroom filled. People can see what's out there in the showroom window, but you know what's in the stockroom. And so this morning, as I'm here in my office again, 4:30 in the morning, recording a podcast, endeavoring to get ready for the day and the challenges that it will face, I'm trying to make sure the stockroom's filled. And sharing a little of that journey with you is part of what Gleaning and Gathering is all about. Every day, right now at least, I found my patterns are seasonal. And so as I've come into fall, I'm coming back to my 4:30 a.m. rising time more consistently. It's not every day, but I don't wake with an alarm clock generally. I just sleep until my body tells me it's time to wake up. But I'll spend time here in the office getting ready, getting my heart ready, making my soul happy in the Lord, and then normally head to the gym by about 5:30. after that, come back, get ready, eat breakfast, have my coffee, and then get ready to head out for the day and to do the things that I'm being paid to do. And then in the evening, try to have my shutdown finished by 5 o'clock and between 5 and 5:30. And generally we eat between 5:30 and 6, and then have the evenings to be able to spend together with my family. And so for me, personal time in the morning to be able to take care of my body and my mind and my soul, work time during the day, and my pattern each evening to try to focus on my family. Those kinds of life-giving rhythms, day in, day out, day after day, putting in those big rocks first, mean that I have something in the stockroom. Yesterday, as a family, we went to the Indianapolis Children's Museum together and spent a delightful day and had a wonderful supper together, made it home last evening, and just made so many great memories. It was such a blessing. The kids are out on fall break this week, and so we're doing some things as a family that wouldn't normally be in our pattern, but it was beautiful. And I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for the blessing that they are. And they're my first ministry. And I'm thankful for my church family and the opportunity that I have to serve here at the gathering at Victory Acres, being able to walk the road with brothers and sisters who are not just people that pay my pastoral paycheck, but people who care for our family, people who care for our hearts. It's just a blessing. And I'm so thankful that our kids have never grown up in a place where daddy's just been a quote-unquote regular pastor. All the stories that I hear, the horror stories of church politics and getting voted out of churches and getting sent packing with no place to go. I am so grateful that I have never had a situation like that. I am truly grateful for the life that God's given us here and for the opportunity that we have to be able to share that life with a community of people that love Him. And so this weekend we'll be together with our Mode Camp friends and family there in Mode, Illinois, and looking forward to fall retreat. It's a pleasure every year to just sit around the fire and catch up with friends and listen to the stories of what God's doing in their lives and all the rest. And then we'll be coming back from that a week after. We'll be having our harvest celebration here at Victory Acres, celebrating our 19th growing season and all that God is doing here. And so these are good times, and it's time to be grateful. And I guess that's what I want to emphasize to you today, is just that need to do the things that no one else may fully see or even give you credit for, but do it in a grateful spirit. Do it with a grateful heart. Accept responsibility for something that you'll never fully get the credit for. And when you do, you're really headed for what Jim Collins describes as level 5 leadership, or leadership where there's real humility. I believe that's what makes the difference. It makes the difference in families, in churches, in organizations, in the world. When people are willing to show up and do the things, even the hard things, for which they may not fully get the credit, it makes the world a better place. Well, that's what I'm chewing on today. For Cleaning and Gathering, God bless.